GX have the chance to become the first EMEA team to make playoffs at Stage 2. Yes, you heard that correctly. It's GX of all teams. I think that's a reflection on how well they have been playing so far this stage. But the job is not done. They do still have to take down FUT first. And the map vetoes, at least so far, Billy, is going for the permaban. The permaban is still there.
Yeah, no surprises, exactly. FUT obviously batting out Icebox. We kind of expected that from them. Giant X banning Ascent, they did the same last week. So yeah, there's no surprises there from me. FUT picking into Sunset and Giant X picking the defense is kind of interesting because FUT obviously enjoy their attack on Sunset, having that 83% attack win rate. So yeah, I think allowing them to have that to begin with is interesting to me. But Meg, this Haven as well coming in from Giant X, that's not a map that we've actually seen from Giant X this stage yet.
Real quick, sorry, I just have a tidbit on why maybe they the attack side number you just quoted. Maybe because it was 6 rounds, they feel I feel like the 6 rounds, maybe they have something in there because as you mentioned in the past, like we have coaches that are very good with their prep and counter strats and stuff. Yeah,
for sure.
Well, you mentioned the Haven, and it is actually, and thank you to Cairo, I have to credit him, I can't steal it from him. It's Giant X's 6th unique map this stage. So again, another amazing thing that Giant X are doing is kind of playing that map, showing how versatile their map pool is. And it's quite funny because, of course, the last time we saw FUT play Haven was against Vitality last week, and it didn't go so well. So they've chosen to start on the defense this time, unlike the attack last week that we saw from Vitality.
I mean, the FUT players are really cheery, they're happy, so I'm hoping it's like a GG go next from last week, because sometimes when you get owned, it's a little bit easier to recover from. But let's come back to this Sunset, because as you mentioned, Billy, that attack side looked amazing, the 6 rounds they played last time, and I think a lot of that is Charles Neddington. He had absolutely no business getting some of the first engagements we saw on that attack half.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think CNED has just had such a brilliant, like, you know, journey back into VCT EMEA, the way that he's just been able to take to the stage again, coming in with so much confidence. It's actually Zeus that I'm looking at on that Sunset in particular. I want to see him pop off. I want to see him fry. I'm intrigued to see that head-to-head against Ara, who has been so dominant recently. So yeah, for me, all eyes are on Zeus because I feel as though his performance has kind of started to dwindle a little bit.
Zeus definitely has a good shot here, I guess, in taking on Ara, because last time both of these teams played Sunset, neither of them put up the best performance. So I think it's not like we've seen Ara kind of coming in and dominating on that Neon if he does pick into it again. I do think that this is a time for Zeus to come in with that confidence and take on that duelist role with a sort of strong stance. You know, it's definitely a possibility for him.
Well, let's take a look at the agent select here and see if we will see anything new. I mean, not from FUT.
Yeah, FUT sticking with the same composition. I have been saying that I'm a little bit disappointed and kind of no sort of creativity coming through from them. I don't know, it feels very like normal kind of Valorant. You know, I'm looking for some more excitement. I think the most excitement that we get out of FUT at the moment is probably CNED playing that Omen, because it's of course something that we hadn't really seen up until this stage. But I think looking at Giant X, yeah, I think what have they changed here? They've not changed anything, no. So it's just complete same as usual. So business as usual for both teams.
I guess if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? They've both had a win on this map in Stage 2 so far, so if it's clearly working for them, I don't understand why you would maybe do any tweaks. I think what you're going to expect here is maybe some new sort of play, some anti-strats, the VOD reviews coming through, and seeing that in the game instead.
And I want a strong start from Mr. Fallen. No more Magnums this week, all right? But it's been a wicked sick time over here on the desk, so I'm going to throw this over to some wicked sick casters, and has a Twitter friend, Cairo.
I can't believe it. What a toss. But look, we're ready to kick off the summer week. Cairo's equipped with the sunglasses. You don't get much of that weather in Scotland, do you? No, you do not. You know, I had to bring them especially for this. You know, Giant X, they have been burning bright. That's why I brought the sunglasses, so they don't blind us here. As for FUT, they've been leaving a lot more to be desired. We can get into it further in this series when we get into map, but the big thing for me here is FUT need to win this first map, because as we get further into the veto, as we get further into the series, FUT's map pool, it worries me.
Yeah, that's definitely something to bring to question, I suppose, for GX as well. They've had a lot of close games themselves. 3 out of the 5 maps that they've played so far settled by a difference of 3 rounds or less. But as we dive into Sunset, FUT's selection, they'll be kicking things off on the attack and some early mid-space taking.
Yeah, closing the door, that will give mid completely to FUT, but Giant X on the other hand, being proactive, taking up those mains, or more specifically the A main.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is just a Cypher trap that holds on to B. FUT all the way up through top mid. Nice flash will gain them that space.
Flickless is on high alert, the only player towards the spawn side of A right now, but that flank has been continued through both Grabinho and Ara, now down towards Tiles. They've both found a kill each, and FUT are starting to fall flat. Into the site they go. Krax has so much work to do, but he can't possibly shoulder the pressure. West side with 2 of his own, a pistol for GX.
The big thing about FUT last week was coming into the Vitality, or coming out of the Vitality game, they never won a single pistol. That...
Seen FUT try and fight mid on a lot of rounds, be quite default heavy, and where GX are going to gain advantages is by taking that space on the extremities, creating that pressure and making the map feel very small. We know that that playbook has been worked on in the time off, and it's more just a simple contact to start things off in terms of how they take the space. A quick reaction to an empty A main. FUT gearing up towards B right now, but still 2 players hanging around mid, as I said.
FUT not interacting with that trapwire will give so much passive information to the defense. That spike still stays there. This is looking to me like a B split.
You can see how GX are posturing though, with Ara and Flickless still able to activate from Link. It's Westside under duress first here though. Into the Cypher setup, FUT look to go. Cage opens up, but Nade is right at his feet. Cloud trying to support, but FUT still yet to breach the site, and that is an issue.
Issues all over the place. I mean, you're looking at Mr. Fallen nowhere near the site where the spike makes its way on. CNED with just a classic and 1 smoke to work
30
with.
seconds left.
Time starting to run out. A plant here would be an objective success for FUT in terms of this round, really not bringing anything in whatsoever, but you can already see the game plan of both starting to show itself. Oh, a bit of a shaky timing, but Ara's got it under control, as do GX. CNED walking into trouble. That should be the round done. He does get an extra kill, but nothing more than that.
Yeah. 3 Bulldogs into the next one, and generally, like, we look at Giant X and how they've been performing in this second stage. I mean, look at it here, right? It feels as if everything from kickoff has been thrown out the window.
Yeah.
FUT were a team to be excited about. Giant X weren't, and now it's completely flipped.
If you want to paint the picture of Giant X turning a corner post-merger, the last time we saw them win 3 in a row was the 2023 LCQ. And of course, that Apex result carries over from the end of stage 1, but stage 2, they're looking completely reborn. Into the bonus round, it's a quick one. Ara with the recon dart, going for the set piece, and it finds value yet again. Grubby involved, Zeus doing a great job to dig out those entrenched players deep behind the defenses of this attack side. Has settled for a 3-on-3.
The worst part about this for Giants is the fact that 2 Bulldogs are on the floor, right? There's upgrade potential, but you look at Giant X, and again, as you spoke before about posture, they're completely disconnected, trying to get information on every lane of the map. Flickless, though, being very forward and pushing all the way through B main.
Oh, Cloud getting caught in transition, though, and that is a problem. FUT now have a decision to make. They've just picked up another kill towards the B site, through the middle. Do they want to head back? Yeah, they think it might be clear, but Flickless is up close.
Yeah, and with a stinger. Depends how good his bursts are. If he can keep this going, there is a paranoia to clear, but I don't think they use any sort of utility. They face it up, dry, and luckily for FUT, they're able to get through it clean.
Westside making a late rotation with just the Ghost in hand means that you expect him to path towards the attacker spawn side and get a better weapon if he can. Not in a position to interrupt the plant, and has managed to collect the Bulldog now to play out this 3 versus 1.
No utility to work with whatsoever. All 3 players of FUT playing close by one another, so that should be easy enough to get over the line. And it is. Zeus with a 4K on the rounds.
A big talking point from the first couple of weeks was Zeus's performance, trailing behind the new duelist, the new face, the old one, I suppose, CNED joining up. This was really nice from GX to kick off the round, but the bigger conversation to be had, is how if Zeus is playing well, then FUT are going to succeed. That's what it took for them to get a couple of rounds against Vitality. They showed they could do it without him in the first week versus Mates. The trades were effective though. They had players in close proximity. That is something they'll be looking for.
Back towards mid, we look once again. And Zeus, supported by Mr. Fallen this time round. And something that we've noted is that KO knife being used to create pressure from FUT.
When you think about FUT's win conditions, the focus has to be on Cracks as well and how he's performing. Zeus, another, he'll go down this time from Cloud, and that just makes things even more difficult. Now, as walking into Grubby's setup, it's a lot of damage dealt onto that second most important player I was just talking about.
This looks like a setup for a re-engage. Grubby takes the contact, even gets the kill. That stun comes in late, pushes the players back. Spike's still not committed towards anywhere on the map just yet.
But you've lost such an important partnership, Zeus and Cracks. The flashes to set up your duelist. Now it's a 5 versus 3 situation. 2 players down, Cloud still watching over top mid. Gonna get caught through the corner by CNED. And once again, it's only Westside on the B site to try and defend this.
Still has his full setup though. The only thing that's gone is the camera,
left.
and he's looking towards CT so players don't catch him off guard. He's been caught.
Oh, marked. It's absolutely huge. And slipping around the side is CNED. Another kill from him. Arados traded out 3-on-2. Still GX in a strong position to make this retake happen. That's where Mr. Fallen needs to get involved and does. Jumping up is Ara, and it's Mr. Fallen yet again. Rubinho's still the player yet to be accounted for, but looking at the players on the FUT side, they should know where he is. A bit of damage gets loose, but Mr. Fallen finds 3.
Big round, big round to upset the buy of GX. That was their full buy, right? So now, being on the defense, you're expecting them all to be on pistols. This was a really nice play. I mean, you're watching like Westside there. The fact that he's just so uncomfortable, puts himself in a corner that he just can't get out of. And the utility's spot on.
And while we have a moment, to go back to what I was setting up in the previous round, FUT's game plan does directly revolve around how Cracks is using his KO utility, whether it's the knives early on to create pressure and collect info, which assists the mid-rounding.
Wait, I think this is a trap play. Off the camera contact.
The flashes to set up Zeus, it is as you say, it's the Hunter's Fury thrown in there as well, and Westside's managed to find 2 kills. The ult firing off for 1 more. No extra tags of damage, but a 5 versus 3 yet again favouring GX.
Yeah, they're happy with that. They've taken what they've got and got out, giving away no numbers back to FUT. But at the same time, Grubby's on the hunt.
And he's done this for the first 4 rounds or so and still finds value. CNED backed up in spawn, forced to concede with the ult. Grubby can get out if he needs it, but instead walks the long path back to the A site, the same path which FUT may need to take themselves.
The fact that their rifle's been rescued, and you've also got to be looking at the Stinger in Flickless's hands. The numbers in their side. FUT need to go and try and look for something. Get something back in their favour. They know where the Sova was because of the drone being heard. So that's where they're going to look to poke and prod. And they'll find Cloud.
Same value, slightly different position.
left.
It's top mid where FUT look to scale late round, and now making their way through the alley at the back of A. The position of Grubinho is absolutely key. He's still holding on to main and allowing a safer rotation for the rest of GX.
Yeah, and on top of that, this will almost feel like a crunch back on towards site. The only safe space being CT where Zeus is holding on.
Blanc comes in, Yetajay immediately pushed off of it by the paranoia. Able to take some space elbow elsewhere. Zeus finding his fight. Showstopper online, and Westside's already low. Yetajay's got himself another 2-on-2.
This is worrying because it's it's 1 Sheriff and a Classic realistically to come back in with.
And Zeus having the paint shells back up means that the delay will continue to creep. 3 kills claimed, and Westside the only one left on what felt like a brilliant attempt from GX. He sat round the corner, so it's a hard clear to try and make. Both players just about within range of this Sheriff. Zeus 1 over, and 4 kills under the belt again from the Rays.
Really nice ideas though in the pre-round call in terms of, hey guys, let's set up a B main trap, and then on top of that to combine that with the Hunter's Fury to get the space that the players can't really shoot into, right? It looks brilliant. But it's when we get in towards this retake, the post plant, right? Everything just falls apart for GX. I mean, the rifles, sure you expect to win out, but I mean, yeah. We are going to head
against
straight...
them, no jiggle picks, bro.
Yeah, we're going to head straight in towards a Giant X timeout as we look at Pipson to get his chance to chime in after that one.
He's been a key figure in this GX side ever since they merged to become GX. Of course, his own playing career overlapping with Giants, and I think we've definitely seen now the vision start to come together, at least in terms of those players being receptive to it, the roles making more sense, the meta read as well in the post-Teho era. But in terms of the game plan on Sunset right now, it is that continued pressure of the extremities. Even the eco that we saw there still looked very strong. And I have a lot of questions to ask of FUT because they've responded well. They're really enjoying this mid-control and market B splits. But GX know exactly what it is they've got to try and face that. And in terms of the setup changing, look at the position of Ara. He's now set up the op in market. He's going to be ready if anyone chooses to peek this area of the map.
GX obviously could lock in playoffs if BBL or Heretics win later in the week. But as for now, we look at this match, and Ara's actually walked out of the door in mid. Not hit his shot, unfortunately, but look at the players of FUT. They're looking to try and descend upon this operator.
Yeah, it's a pace change, and Ara's really caught now.
Yeah, he is now managing to escape towards backside, and you're looking at west side to try and support as the utility does not hit. And well, we've also got the null command taking utility offline, but it's GX taking FUT offline, as it's just Mr. Fallen with no chance of getting that spike back or even bringing up cracks. A minute to play with, but does he even get a minute to play? And no, that's not the case, as GX even things out completely.
And from FUT's 60 seconds in the timeout, they choose to go direct, which is one of the options you have against GX, I suppose, if you know they're going to be as proactive as they are. But taking a look at the tape and how they played this previously versus Vitality, their defense is equally as reactive. And if you're going straight into the Cypher setup, when Ara has already made the reads to play in market and can just drop off even with the null command, feels like they were a step ahead.
Yeah, and GX's Cypher setup has been for backside every single time. And it's the fact that the null command, sure, you take the traps offline, but you saw Westside playing towards CT, so we can activate that trap for Ara. Now FUT playing a much slower round. And this is where I start to worry for FUT, because their defaults were not impressive on Haven last week.
No. And for both of these teams, you are expecting the defense to be the better of the two. When presented the option in the series we've seen from each of them, it's always been their choice to begin here. And this time it's Ara's op in the correct position once more, not cleared by the Prowler. Does back up into elbow a little bit more, and Flickless with a full util belt is still here to support.
Flash good to get him off of the angle, as we're seeing more ultimates invested from FUT, this time the Nightfall, and cracks his flash. It's perfect. Gets the site, opens it up, and Grabinho nearly getting caught as well.
GX would want to flood, but they just can't get over in time. The delay wasn't enough from the site players. Now with the spike going in, it looks like they'll give it a go.
A little bit of chip damage through the shocks, but look at Mr. Fallen, his position in elbow as GX come back in through that spot. Grubby still not found, waiting for the one-way to drop as Mr. Fallen, as Westside still to make his way through, make himself known, and finally collapsed upon. 1 versus 3 for the Cypher, who we know is good in clutches. But can he back it up here? And what feels like an impossible task, it certainly is. FUT take the advantage back.
GX felt like they were caught between two minds there, whether they wanted to sort of beat the util trap as the players were diving in and catch a good timing. Ara stuck on the site in the end. Or just play the full retake, because there were 3 players starting towards B instead. It's well played from FUT though, and Zeus continues to chip in with kills.
And I think this is really nice to be seeing, because last week he was what, something like 1 in 8 and 1 in 9 and first kills to first death ratio.
He's -9 overall in the first 2 weeks for first engagements, which doesn't feel like the Zeus we got to know
Even
kickoff in stage 1.
Even when Zeus did go negative, though, it was always by 1 or 2. Never have we seen him go negative by a margin of 8 or more in a long time.
Yeah, and it goes back to the setup that I was talking about earlier, the utility to support him. And I think as we look through this veto as well, into the later maps, you are wondering how much is he going to get. For now, though, FUT in the lead. And after the first 40 seconds spent diligently looking towards both sides, Cloud has been caught in the drone by the knife. And so GX still don't really know how many players are behind this A push.
100%, but on top of that, they still have bodies on the line to make this one work as the execute does come through.
Oh!
The stun looks good, but it's still even across the board. And as a Cypher Cam, getting more information for the attack as they jump through the smoke. It's still a 2 versus 2, but Grabinho is all on site alone as Ara tries to get in position to help him, FUT collect their forces as well.
Grubby has no paranoia to set up Ara either, so the GX players are just going to have to watch this one decay and take a back seat. The op's still around.
Time?
Very strong line here, and like you say, the time pressure's huge.
Yeah, it is, but the first shot missed. That could be a disaster and allowed FUT onto site. But we're 8 seconds. There's only 3 to get that spike down. FUT are making this incredibly close.
No time.
As Grubby tries to run away, get away. And well, GX will win that round, but that is an absolute blunder.
That feels like one of the weirdest rounds we've seen from FUT so far. I think if you take a step back, the macro from them has been a bit suspect so far. That's why we wanted to see Mr. Fallen step up individually, because it's quite taxing to micromanage your squad. And there is a timeout off the back of this, but just not making the right decisions later in the round, really not realizing how much time they had after Zeus did buy quite a lot of space early on.
I mean, I'm utterly confused, to be honest, mate. The mismanagement is egregious at best. But listen, that's why you get that timeout. That's why you give Yonta the time to come in and speak to his players.
You're also seeing the support network on GX be effective, with Flickless, the counterpart to Ara, the same way I talk about Cracks on the other side, and how the desk highlighted that the Turkishman has been very effective in terms of his assists per round. That's if you're looking over the 2 weeks. But just last week specifically, Flickless was the best in that metric of anyone. He was finding an assist on almost 60% of the rounds, which when you look at it on average, usually you're doing really well if you're finding one every other. He's finding assists on more rounds than not, though. And this partnership has continued now into VCT. And yeah, we love no-scopes and wicked sick flicks.
Yeah, we really do love wicked sick plays.
We've not seen any from CNED so far. He hasn't brought up the op on attack side.
Yeah, but right now they don't really have the money to do so anyway. It's a bit of a, I say it's a half buy, it's a full invest, but they've got not a lot to show for it.
But have done this a couple of times as well, you know, from the timeout, then making this kind of an investment.
But you look at GX and it's the same type of buy, right? Like a few discrepancies here and there, and it ends up being a swing round, but both teams look as if they've almost got like an anti-eco buy, a bonus round buy.
Another slow start from FUT, but Zeus is the point man. Top mid's where he'll go and end up dead and buried. Flickless has found value through the gun in his hands, not just the util belt. We're now already past the minute mark, Cairo, and some of the same issues we were mentioning before popping up. FUT are yet to scale through A main, and Grubby is looking to replenish the one-way.
How she swung out off the back of FUT trying to scale up.
He's the backstop.
Yeah, and it's, again, FUT left scratching their heads.
30 seconds left.
Outlaw, Stinger.
The most concerning part about all of this is it's that all-in purchase you were talking about, and it feels utterly directionless.
Yeah.
Yetajay's trying to right the ship later on, but
look at the spikers.
Exactly. It's done already. The round is lost. GX will be taking the lead back for themselves. And look at the ultimates they've got to work with. I mean, hell, look at the ults FUT had coming in, and we didn't really see anything done.
Yeah, I don't know. again, like, I don't want to bring it back to like the point we literally just made a couple of rounds ago, but it was the whole thing about FUT and their defaults. That was a default round with a full invest on what looked like a poor buy.
And I'll draw a comparison for you here as well.
Okay.
I think FUT looks similar to how GX
From
did
this
in
round,
stage
let's
1.
get every other, okay?
Yeah,
We
I
talk
agree.
about, you know, coaching staff implementing a vision, trying to put away behind you the old era, the one which served FUT very well from 2022 onwards, and with the player change as well.
Yeah.
I don't think we're really seeing that reflected in the play
And
style.
I'll go one step further to draw that comparison, right? What was the biggest problem with that GX and kickoff and kind of into stage 1 was the roles, right? And I feel as if like FUT right now are almost in that same position. They're trying to put like circle shapes into square holes, you know, and it's just not working.
Well, you know, actually, Cairo, when you put the circle shape in the square hole, it actually fits quite nicely.
Oh,
It's
well,
usually
the other way about.
when the square, goes in the circle hole. It's fine.
Cheers, mate. You know, geometry's not my specialty.
I mean, what is?
Definitely not the English language.
Rubinho is trying to put on a Guardian tutorial for us, but it is quickly cut short. Zeus has found another pickup, but as he peeks into market, Cloud Ever the equalizer trades in effect for FUT. There is space towards the B side of the map, and if you're looking at West side once again, he's once more inhabiting backside, but the setup is there to control that space.
Well, FUT are going to try and come out of main, and they'll be allowed to do so, but players are now starting to float for GX to help out West side. And time getting low. This should be an easy gamble for the defense.
And Cena playing it pretty standard, trying to get the plant in, has the paranoia to push the issue backside. It doesn't look like that's what they're opting for. Spam West side is close, but it breaks even in the man count with the spike down. FUT fully playing from main.
Yeah, and there's still plenty of utility on Ara. Flickless has used up his last stun, so finally they come out, but Yetiji can't hit the outlaw shots.
Is the falling out in the open, looking for something, but there's really nothing to stop this defuse.
No, it needs to let the sheriffs hit. Everybody gets lit up, and well, at the end, it will be FUT who are lit up. That is now 6, a guaranteed even score on the half for Giant X if they lose the next 2 rounds.
Yeah, that round in some ways felt like a best case scenario for FUT. They were given these really scrappy 1 versus 1s where they have seemed to thrive, but it was never going to be a case of the individuals with this team when you consider what it is that could go wrong. It is the broader perspective of how the rounds are being played. And coming in here with all of the ults that they have, FUT should have a clear plan as to what they want to do. It's the null command, it's the showstopper, GX with tools of their own, and it's that aggro tiles piece from Grubby again.
I like this. Every single time that GX look to be aggressive, they'll seem to get something off the back of it, but Grubby's completely unknown. FUT, again, less scratching their heads as they go 1 player down. Zeus still hasn't identified towards tiles, and it's a crashing button! FUT, what is going on?
They're asleep at the wheel. They should have seen this coming. I mean, GX made this exact same play against Vitality when the Hunter's Fury was up. Cloud didn't invest it because there was no initial contact, but Grubby walks the full length of mid, gets a double spray, makes the rest look easy, and now CNED 1v5, but Grubinho might just take 5.
Yeah, it looks to be the case as Grubby wants his ace. He knows exactly where CNED is. He tries to deny it, and he'll get it. That is a Grubinho ace. And what is the 11th round of the half?
Given the time to do the hard work, GX have been fleshing out their strat book, but as I mentioned, you're doing your prep, especially of GX on this map, which, may I remind you, for the first 5 maps we've seen them play, they've all been unique, so there's only one map worth of footage here. It's plays like this that they were going for. This was the vintage, and it just feels like it wasn't accounted. 5 ults now for FUT, but only 1 more chance to make things right.
I mean, I hate to be that guy, but after plays like that, you're really hoping that that halftime comes soon.
And on the flip side, take a bow, Grubby. This guy has had such an uptick in form since he changed jerseys for the other Spanish organization in VCT.
Yeah, well, they're starting to move. They're moving into Arizop though, and he has the line that he wants, but Paranoia will bring him off it. So this is nice, and has no way to re-engage. The null command comes through. This should mean that this is going to be the execute, as Aaron does well to get rid of Yetije. Zeus is going to end up all even.
FUT can bring themselves into a post-plant here, but you still have to consider Mr. Fallen trying to cut off the cross. Captain v Captain. Cloud cuts him down to size. And GX are already in position for this retake.
Yeah, and look at Grubby's TP. Look at where he's went in towards Elbow. That's a perfect Paranoia. As Cracks goes, CNED left fighting for his life, and Mr. Fallen nowhere to be seen. He's sprinting, but they're defusing.
They knew where he
Mr. Fallen
was.
needs to get on and deny the spike, but he can't even get out of the smoke.
And the frustration really creeping in for FUT. This time, they are on the receiving end of the 8-4 half. Not one to be happy with whatsoever as GX continue the Dark Horses prancing their way to 3-0. Great first half. It's not the start that FUT would have wanted after last week. Put to the sword by another streak of rounds, 5 in a row at the end of GX's defensive half. And as it stands, top of the pops in Group Alpha. Plenty to be happy about for them. Onto the attack now of Sunset. FUT's choice once again. May I remind you all watching at home.
Yeah, it is FUT's choice. And the next map, Haven, I mean, it doesn't look great, but we'll get to that in a minute. As for now, FUT are leaving a lot to be desired in terms of the way that they're playing. There's a lot of mishaps, a lot of individual errors, and just not thinking about what's going on in the rounds.
Into the pistol, GX starting by looking towards mid through tiles. We know that they like that top mid take. And it's the same one they're going to go for here. Into the position of Yetije, and the drive-by from Hour shuts him down. 4 players starting B behind the smoke. Have a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah, and you look at GX, they're going to have plenty of time to set up the post plant, and the utility, well, there's still nearly a full belt for Flickless.
Silver lining for FUT. They do have quite a bit of their own, including the combo between the Raze and Fade. Does drop in, GX with no extra ground. They are bodies on the site right now, but gearing up to duel towards Link. That's where Mr. Fallen will make his reprisal. The rest through the alleyway. It's Zeus up over the top, and he'll find yet another, but the trades are there. GX drop the guillotine and land themselves on 9, no trouble.
And probably on 10 as well, with the next buy coming through completely in their favour. I mean, yeah, very well played from GX, and the setup from FUT's completely wrong.
We know that GX like to exploit top mid, that Ara can be very self-sufficient, but the support was there from him as well.
One enemy remaining.
Post plant also looking strong, continuing to individually build confidence.
Oh, another pistol round lost for FUT. And look at right now, in terms of the defensive setup, it seemed like 5 players were towards A, and now they're completely resetting, as if the ideas are coming to them as the round goes. Yeah, it's worrying with the pre-round calls at the minute. There's 3 sitting top mid for FUT as they're hoping that someone walks their way.
To give credit to FUT, they do enjoy to start a lot of rounds with heavy player numbers towards A main and then look to be more reactive and head over towards B. You've got cracks there for info right now, as Yetege is part of this A side lean. Pushing enough for them. GX are looking to hit the B site, and already Cracks running into trouble, or trouble running into him, and actually, whoa, 3 with a classic! How on earth's he done that?
I have no idea. Spike, though, still to be collected, and FUT have time to come up with how they want to retake this site. As you look towards Yetege going to main.
No weapons picked up. As you've already mentioned, Yetege is starting to close the net, so the rest of FUT just need to keep them entertained, and the paranoia's hit both. That's the setup for Yetege. 5 kills from a classic in the eco, the full save, and FUT will walk away with it.
Hey, listen, fair enough. Absolutely fair enough. It comes through an individual moment of Cracks, and then enough time for FUT to hit a paranoia and set up Yetege. Yeah, unbelievable round all in. But what Giant X doing? Not clearing backside like that? That's schoolboy error.
Oh, it's because, I don't know, did the dart miss? Hard to tell. Either way, Haste safe card thrifty for FUT, and a huge opportunity for them to redeem themselves. And you can see between Sway and Jonta exchanging a look that says, yeah, we got a little bit lucky there. We got away with that one. So exactly what the doctor ordered.
Cloud only one noted. Both players in towards elbow here is Fallen. Mr. Fallen will be taking the contact. The drone destroyed in time. I don't think it's just known about. Will be now. But still trading out an advantage. An upgrade though for the attack.
And GX are very quick to crack down on this position after the previous round.
Where's Giant X going here?
Start, it's an orb picked up by Cloud, so his ult the closest, but nothing tangible in this round for the time being. You can see Yetege's been allowed to place a deep cam in B main, so again, early heads up if GX look to move towards this side of the map, and that's why the defense are very comfortable to stick to their laurels and continue playing the right-hand side number.
There is still a chance, though, that the way that Giant X move on towards the site, they're allowed to have a clean 1 versus 1. Like, for instance, here, where Cloud gets Mr. Fallen. So now we go back to 3 versus 3. Look towards Yetege and CT right now, as he'll be the one to stop the cross on towards site. And he does so successfully. Worried that if Giant X had cleared them out, it would have been easy to make that back to either a 3 versus 2 or a 2 versus 2 in favour of the attack.
And that's where GX's default sells them a little bit short. As much as I was talking about the A main duels, just getting a little bit of info in B main can be huge. And it circles back to Cracks' KO as well. He is using these knife lineups a lot of the time to just collect the necessary info to allow Yetege to find deep positioning and setup. This time, it should be the flash over the top for the A main duel.
Giant X start the attack through mid, and well, at the same time, FUT almost playing a defense like an attack by trying to challenge that A main and take the orb.
It's the quick rotation from FUT as well. Like I say, Cracks flashing Zeus and CNED into A main. Then immediately rotating, and they're looking to converge on mid, knowing this is where GX play from.
Yeah, but Cubby's not being cleared in the corner, neither has Ara, but he's not the one that got the kills. It was the smoke up. It's now Giant X look to pivot straight towards B. FUT hold on through the back site. There's no contact taken.
Already threaded 2 players through Boba, not yet out backside, has to respect the recon.
That's a defensive smoke, so it's denied any lines of sight, but Giant X spammed through it. And now it's the pickup. CNED, the veteran, who needs to come up tops here. As he looks to go round the other side, he'll be able to get 1 for his troubles, but surely not anymore. No, it won't be. It will be Ara.
So double digits for GX. Coming into the bye round now for both teams. They handled this mid-aggression really nicely. Grabinho deep lying, ready to receive any peeks. That was the one angle that hadn't been considered, and he makes the most value of it. Ults up on both sides, cracks null command, and Zeus being one off the showstopper are definitely things to look at for FUT.
Yeah, Yetiji is the one on the op, which is interesting to me. CNED not the one picking it up.
Yeah. We know Yetiji likes to try and play this, but if it's the extra catalyst for him to have some more support and reinforce B, then
GX, they want to challenge this A main hold. Last time FUT tried to play aggressive, and FUT, well, I was going to trade out even in numbers, but not even in terms of the players picked up. Zeus wants another go at this as the flash comes through, sets him up perfectly from cracks.
So FUT do get the better of the numbers from the A main duel. It's very well set up. Now they're looking towards elbow, seeing if they can gut Grabinho.
And unfortunately, Grubby will not be able to live with that. Now, it's where they're looking elsewhere, in towards the op.
Yep.
Giant X have been caught out twice.
And Yetiji does the exact same as what we saw from Ara in the first half. Placing that op in market when the mid pressure comes in, when GX think that they can comfortably move into this position. Cuts off the cross, finds a kill, and now Cloud is living on borrowed time.
30
seconds left and moving in towards a double stack. It's not a double stack that gets the kill, actually. It will be Zeus. And FUT doing a decent job to just chip away at this lead.
A good defensive unit, like I said. And once more, you see the KO util, sets up the re-engage from Zeus. And it's a cut above what we saw from them last week, where it felt like Zeus was flying in solo a lot of the time, albeit on the Neon instead.
Yeah.
Whether that changes or not in upcoming maps, and in upcoming rounds is important. Here, it's a mixed buy from GX. Grabinho doing it all right now, 20 and 9.
Yeah, I mean, there was pings going out from the defense side of FUT, looking to take towards mid, but that 5-stack, gain the B control, and I think they're just going to hit straight into this.
A lot more direct. Hadn't seen this so far from GX, but something they'll perhaps be looking to try and exploit, as all 5 members of FUT are off-site.
Yeah, that they are. They're waiting for any sort of more aggression that comes through, and will they punish it?
Showstopper missed. It was already a dead player there, though, so not the extra value, but the clears are looking all right. And with Westside down on 3, he needs 3, and it's just not possible.
Absolutely not, and that'll bring FUT within 2. What was looking like a convincing map from Giant X is now starting to get put into the realms of possibility that FUT come back into this. Yeah, I mean, I can understand it, right? You're on a little bit of a half-buy. Giant X think, let's try and take some more space and upset a retake, but FUT well aware of what was coming their way. And yeah, they deal with it. It will be a timeout, but it's not actually from Giant X. Interestingly enough, it's from FUT.
Yeah, and it's going to give time to GX as well to plan around their ultimates. And I suppose for FUT to find what the solution is, because they're currently faced with 4 out of the 5. We saw the Hunter's Fury invested on the previous rifle round. But I'm liking the slight adaptations we're seeing in terms of the defensive setup, and I'm wondering now, how do they want to try and set up? Is it heavier towards the A to start again? And where do GX want to take ground early? Because I think that's been a little bit of an issue, how much information FUT are getting through their positioning.
Yeah, I think for me as well, moving into these next couple of rounds, it's about how does FUT get through Giant X's ultimate cycle, right? Because they have 4 out of 5, as you've already been speaking about. But what's the sort of plans that they're going to create off the back of that? And if they can get through it, like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the conditioning that they're going to set up to, or the contingency? Sorry, that's the word I'm looking for to counter that.
In terms of looking at what it is that we've got here, trap placed on the box, left side top mid for FUT, likely to contain either Grabinho or Ara, who will be looking to take that space quite quickly, but it's A main instead, where they double down.
I'm out of here.
Stun in early, Ara spotted, knife behind. FUT won't know exactly how many, but they've seen a couple already.
Yeah, and they're looking to try and hunt down the op. Yedishido, finding Ara, and well, automatically, this is looking brilliant. The ultimate's not hitting either, and FUT have done well already. They've got control of the spike, and Westside and Flickless, well, they're on site, but with no means of finding the space, breaking it down. CNET's just waiting for an angle, a chance.
Repositioned really smartly here. Has a big fight to win against Westside though. He's quicker on the trigger.
Yeah, well, there's still a flash in Flickless's pocket if he really wants to go for it. So there's still plenty of utility in FUT's pockets as well as finally. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. There's no way. His time's still ticking away. The Haunt will grab one, nobody destroying it, and it's right on top of Flickless's head. The players all coming through the one spot. So both players, both attack, look towards one position and deal with FUT with what was meant to be a defensive round. What was that?
That was so well played by GX. The micro has improved so much from the first stage. In terms of how the round began, great start from FUT. They were prepared for the execution to come in. But then in the 2 versus 3, firstly it's this missed nade from Zeus, and then Flickless taking the contact with Westside ready to peek off of it. Westside then moves in backside and is ready to peek off of Flickless once they know where he is default. Layers to it, man.
It's like an onion, mate. Plenty of layers. And well, right now, FUT want to change up the pace.
Like an ogre.
I know exactly.
It's a warrior's cry from Ara. Immediate A control. Cairo has muted himself because he's laughing too much. I make one Shrek reference in his day. It's just...
That's plenty. That is plenty. Right, spike goes down.
And they've got the Nightfall into the retake this time. They are a player down though, and if GX can do it 2v3, then
still
or v3.
I was about to say, there was still an owl drone, so they can go and gain information, the attack here, which they'll get plenty of. So now you've got a proper idea of how FUT are coming back into this, but that's a big loss.
Oh, Westside gets no value from the corner either. Ara down to 1, but gifted CNET's head on a platter. It has to be Ara, blinded and dead. FUT have brought it back from the jaws of defeat.
Yeah, I feel as if like whoever has got the advantage coming into the post plan has automatically been debuffed. That should not have been that close, but that shouldn't even have been a FUT round. What am I even saying? What?
Something about EMEA and Sunset. I know we've got the summer attire on. We're dressed for the occasion. But GX to potentially go 3-0. We're talking about FUT trying to state their claim back at the big boys table after being the guys that always went to Masters every year and champs since partnerships began. In a year now and a day where there's a chance that they are fully eclipsed by the other Turkish team.
No way.
For GX's eco, it's another A send met with FUT resistance.
Just a simple crossfire as well, and both players caught by utility. Looks like GX have decided, well, A hasn't worked, so let's try and hit him towards B, but there is a full Cypher setup lying in wait, as well as 2 players ready to play off one another. And look at Krax, he's in transition as well.
Yeah. Not quite in the audible range of Flickless, who has plenty of work of his own
to do. Cloud is in the corner with the spike, but the smoke replenished, so he can get out. Right now, you just got to be looking at the position of Mr. Fallen, who's closing the net. The Horn has revealed his own position. GX backed into a corner. Yetterjay in the corner, and he'll make no mistake from it either.
Yeah.
3 clean kills for a very clean in-zone flawless.
Very nicely done. We're back within 1. This game now starting to become extremely interesting because at the full time you just thought, well, Giant X will have what it takes to close this out. But FUT now, if they can win this round, pretty much advantage towards them to get this over the line. With the way that the economy cycle is looking.
And it's what I was saying at the start. GX have gone 2-0, but by no means has it been a dominant path that they have walked to the top of Group Alpha. Plenty of those maps, just a couple rounds in it, and seeing them now at 11-10, this is where they have to show the kind of mentality that keeps them at the top of the group, as Pipson is involved yet again. That's something you have to be thinking about, the chemistry of this team, and one of the reasons why it's worked, I think, with Cloud stepping in as IGL from Stage 2 last year, knowing what it's like to be a star player, a young gun, at only 21 years of age himself. He's taken a very different direction of this GX roster than Redgar, the previous leadership, and trying to get the most out of the players around him.
I think this is the first time as well from GX that I've seen a map where I've got a lot of question marks about, maybe not necessarily just the calling, but the general mistakes that are happening, right? This is the first time that we've seen them look susceptible. But here we go, GX have gone from the second lowest rifle versus rifle win rate to now one of the highest.
You know, the last time we threw a rifle v rifle stat, it was when Na'Vi were getting stomped by Liquid the other day. So I don't know if it's a bad omen, but GX are moving very quickly through the map, making inroads towards the A site. A dink onto Cracks, and with him caught with his hands in his pockets, it's a chance for Grubby to strike, and Cloud holding up the other end. But CNED is still here. Turns his back, goes for the TP. Flickless cuts it out. That's the freest kill he's going to get all day. The spike is yet to go in.
Big amount of information through that neural theft. Spike goes down, but Flickless has no way out.
He's stuck, but it's on FUT to clamp down on this position. And he may just go over-considered here. Flickless is going to find value from the stun. No! Mr. Fallen playing in front, and it's on to West Side! He'll make no mistake. 12 taken. And from across the stage, the fist bump is given.
Excellent clutch. It brings GX now finally one away, as it looked as if they were going to slip. Perfect timeout by Pipson. The information, the calls. A little bit spicy. What is CNED trying to be a little bit too aggressive in holding that space, trying to beat out the opponents, but yeah, easily cleared out. Now GX with a chance to win out FUT's map.
Bring them down.
In moments like that as well, I think the improvements of GX can be seen. And back to the chemistry conversation through comms.
Yeah.
An improvement, not having it be cluttered. When you have previous team experience of Aaron Flickless, it does help you, of course, as well. But looking back in towards A, flash drive thrown into the mix by Cracks, who is now steadily making his way over to B, with backside the goal here for FUT to try and flood back in.
Yeah, and well, the first of those ultimates being used. The Rolling Thunder from the breach, but remember there's also a Hunter's Fury for post if we get to it. Spike goes down, we're into post.
Know that Grubby's in the corner, the nade is here to try and phase out his position, but the aftershock helps to reinforce. Cloud in the corner, not yet considered, lining up two and setting up GX. The captain's done his job, and the rest are ready and waiting. 13 rounds, not all too far away. Yetterjay has a lot to do. It's Grubby and Flickless standing between him. Yetterjay has saved FUT again.
I mean, that is absolutely spectacular. Being able to find 3 a Red Bull clutch and keeps FUT in it just when you thought They'd let it all go just when you thought Giant X were finally going to close it out.
Well, look, as I was saying, they've already had a couple of 13-11s. Why not add another one? But jokes aside, it's a complete let-off. It's so over. We're so back. CNED showing every range of human emotion. And GX have been thrown into a torrid bye to give themselves one last chance.
I mean, it's crazy to consider as well. GX were the ones who were winning all the clutches last week against DBL.
Oh.
It's a big knife.
In terms of the shift of the setup, that immediately brings two players over to the B site like a magnet. GX will double down and continue to execute here, though.
Oh no, GX. They've been caught out on the re-entry. I mean, Cloud gets one through the Hunter's Fury, but ultis are missing left, right and centre. And this buy, not convincing at all. We need players up close and personal. And FUT just quite struggling to get on the angles.
Yeah, Grubby finally goes for the ult, was hanging on to this one for a while, but didn't want to bail, give up on Westside, who was stuck out in the choke. Seeing the rotation come through from both sides, huge 1v1 in the alley.
There's not a lot of utility either for FUT to come back in as Grubby gets peppered up.
But look at the HP on both of these GX players. They've been whittled all the way down.
Still, an info dart, if they want to clear out, and well, the steps would have been heard. As both players make their way on towards Spike, there's the info dart to set up Grubby as he swings round, catches the player defusing, and Zeus now stuck in between two angles. Where does he try and fight first? Needs to tap the Spike, bait the players out, but it won't come through. It'll be Giant X finally to close out this map.
GX still steadily making their way through maps, one step at a time. We haven't quite seen them hit terminal velocity just yet, but it's enough to squeeze past FUT 13-11. Their own map pick coming up next to see if it can get any better. We'll see you on the other side of this break.